Thank you all for coming today. Thanks for being here. You're welcome to fill in these last few seats if you want. I know nobody has to stand it the whole time, but we got plenty of seats here. Again, thank you for being here today. Very special day here at Mississippi State as we introduce our sixth head softball coach. Our format today will be as follows. We'll bring up John, followed by Samantha. We'll then take questions for Samantha. We ask that questions come from the media only, so media, please raise your hands. We'll get a wireless mic to you. This press conference is being streamed. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Director of Athletics at Mississippi State, John Cohen.
I'll make this quick because I want to get the star of the show up here as soon as possible. But as we went through this process, I have to admit to all of you, I did not have a full realization of what the Ricketts name means in college softball from coast to coast. And as we talk to coaches, as we talk to people who cover college softball, as we went around the country and talked to all the experts in that sport, they kept talking about how powerful this last name Ricketts is. And boy, when you really look at what Samantha and her family have done in this sport, it's pretty remarkable. Another big issue for us, or something that was compelling to me, was the amount of offensive success we have had under Samantha at Mississippi State. We had 3 first-team all-SEC players for the first time in school history, and it became evident to me, but again, through a lot of research and analysis, that we had one of the best offenses in the Southeastern Conference and around the country. Samantha Ricketts was obviously a huge part of that. She was the person who engineered that. We were looking for someone who had a history of consistent excellence, both on and off the field. And everyone we talked to in our softball program, around our softball program, around the country, talked about the consistent excellence of Samantha Ricketts. We were looking for somebody who would lead our softball program by example. And again, we feel like Samantha really led in this area as well, in talking to our players, talking to staff, and talking to softball experts around the country. I had the opportunity to sit down for an extended amount of time and just ask, if given this opportunity, what was Coach Ricketts' vision for the future of this program. And I was incredibly impressed with how organized she was and how to the point she was with what she wanted to do with the future of this program. So all of those things led us in the direction of hiring Samantha Ricketts. We're so excited about having her as our head softball coach. And now it's my privilege to introduce our next head softball coach at Mississippi State University, Samantha Ricketts. Most important thing. Wow. As we do with all of our head coaches, newly created head coaches, we present this, and you have to show these folks that you know what you're doing.
I'm sure you do. Know how to
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, John, and thank you, everybody, for being here. This is really exciting time for me. Just really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here. Just want to start off by thanking John, thanking Dr. Keenum, the search committee, Jared Binko, Leah Beasley, Mike Ritchie, and Ann Carr, and just for them to really see my vision and what this program can be and where I'd like to take it. Also want to thank my players and Cooley for being here. They really, have a good relationship with them already, which is going to be a huge factor moving forward for us. Really excited with the direction that we have for this program. Coach Bratton is staying on board as well with us. I think we've accomplished a lot of firsts in the recent years here, and I know that we can continue on these and have a lot more firsts down the road for Mississippi State softball. This is a unique opportunity. I don't have to get to know the team again. I don't have to go out and find my own recruits because I recruited these girls. I know them, And it's a chance for us to use that bond that we've had and that trust and really move forward with everything that we've done and have a lot of good recruits coming in, good signing classes. That's where Coach Bratton and I have been, is out in California, getting in front of these girls. And we're really excited about the future of the players we have now on this team and the ones that we have coming in. We have a lot of strengths returning. Obviously, like John said, we've got our Thunder and Lightning coming back. Mia Davidson and Fale Lua hitting a lot of home runs for us. Emily Williams returning along with the rest of our pitching staff, and just really excited about what they can do. We bring in, Candace Dennis is coming back. She hit .338 for our offense last year. Montana Davidson was one of our top 5 hitters in conference play. So just a lot of good strengths and cores that we have returning to this team, and a lot of exciting young talent also that will be with us. Our incoming class, I'm really excited about them. That's what kind of my vision is for the recruiting for this program. Is they're athletes. They can pitch, and the pitchers also hit. They can run, they're strong, they're fast, and just really an all-around athlete, and that's the type of player I want to bring into Mississippi State. I think you have your specialty positions such as pitching and catching, but the more athletic that we can be in our recruiting classes and bringing in our players, the better this program's going to be. I plan to continue this focus in our recruiting, as well as a big piece of it obviously is going to be the pitching side of it. And right now my focus is getting the best pitching coach possible that I can. I've been out in California talking to a few, have a lot of interested candidates, and I want to bring in the best pitching coach out there, and someone that's going to help revive our pitching staff and really take us to the next level, especially in the SEC. On the field, you'll see that we're going to continue to keep Coach Bratton at third base. He does a great job there, and we communicate very well about our offensive plans in games and what that strategy will be. And I think for us, practice-wise, our focus is going to be a lot more data-driven, using video, using technology, and all these things that we have to really help us improve our learning curve, and that we can move forward and be more data-driven in our analysis so we see where we are and where we need to be. Coach Stephanie Mock and I have a really good vision with that as well from the weight room perspective, and how we can use numbers, data, and analysis and really help these girls develop from an objective side, and so they can see where their numbers are at now and where we want them to be down the road. So that's going to be a big key piece for us as well, the weight room and on the field, just really using a lot of data, a lot of analytics and types of research like that. I think for me, my biggest goal is that I want to be a consistent presence for this team. The fact that I've been here with them, I've been here through everything we've been through, especially this past 2 years with Alex Wilcox, is also going to be a huge part. I knew her, I coached her, I loved her, and I want us to continue everything that we've done for her in this program to represent what Mississippi State softball was to her, and that we continue to represent Alex and her legacy across the softball world as well. That's a big part. I want to be a real, strong female role model for these girls, a stable presence and someone that they know they can come to, that they have a consistent leader in. And I want to teach them how to be adults, how to grow up, and how to be a strong, empowered woman when they leave here. That's a huge piece of why I am the way I am, from my coaches and all the support I've had from my family at the University of Oklahoma. And that's what I want to start with and really build our foundation off of from day one. I want these girls to leave here saying that they had the best 4 years of their life at Mississippi State, that they enjoyed every minute, or 2 years or 3 years, whatever they had left, and that they loved it. They loved Mississippi State. They loved the program and their teammates, and that's something that they can always look back on and remember as the greatest 4 years of their careers. So I'm excited. I know we've got a lot of work to do, starting with the pitching coach right now, but we've got a good plan moving forward. I like to be organized. I like to have a plan, and I've got a lot of things that we're working for right now, but some really good ideas and prospects out there, and I know I've got a lot of good people in my corner and in this university that are going to be willing to help and have already really reached out, helping me along the way. So I'm ready to get started. I've already gotten started really too, but just really appreciate this opportunity, and yeah, I'm ready to go.
Questions? We'll get a mic to you for media. Danny.
Coach Danny Smith, Strawful Daily News. I know that you haven't been a head coach, but the fact that you were promoted to associate head coach and had a big part of what was going on around here, how much is that going to help you moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be helpful. I was given a lot of responsibilities that a head coach probably normally does and was really trusted in those roles. So I think I have a lot of experience, especially from the management side of things about how to function. And again, I haven't been a head coach yet, but I do think I have a lot of the experience that most assistants haven't had. And I know I've got a lot of people that are in my corner and supporting and already reaching out with what can they do and help me moving forward, and I plan on using them through this process.
Samantha, Garrett Hodge, Commercial Dispatch. Considering the strength of the league, every team makes a regional, if not most of them. That being said, so what is your year-to-year expectation for this program, considering every team gets a bite at the apple at the end of the year?
Definitely. It's the strongest league in the country from top to bottom. There's never a weekend off. We've got to prepare every weekend to place the best team. My vision is that we continue, like you said, where we've been, that we stay as a postseason team, that we are in the regionals, that we're competing, and then that we take the next step. Our goal is to host a regional and to make it to a super regional and then continue on and see what goes from there. So definitely that's a goal for us within the next few years, and it's something that we've been very close to, and we know that really it's been a couple games away for us, and if we can finish out some games strong in the 5th, 6th, 7th games that we've always said we've been so close to winning, that if we can take those steps, then now we're talking about being a possible host school and working for a super regional.
Hey, Samantha. Robbie Falk with Starkville Daily News and 24/7 Sports. How close do you feel like you are to taking that next step with this roster? You had 2 players hit over 20 home runs, and you have a pretty good nucleus of pitchers, you said, coming in. How close do you feel like you are to hosting a regional and competing for a championship?
I think we're very close. I think it could be this year, it could be next year, it could be 3 years. It's going to really depend in our game. A lot of it has to do with the pitching, and I think it's gotten away more from the one star pitcher in our game, and it's more about the pitching staff. So that's really what my focus is, why it's the pitching and finding the right pitching coach, because I think we need a staff, and it's not just going to be one arm that gets us there. It's going to take a group of pitchers that have been developed and that have the trust in their training and know their role, and that if one's middle relief and the other one knows she's a closer and kind of where they stand, I think that's going to really help us to move forward as far as our plan with the pitching, and that's going to be the biggest difference, finding our way into a regional and a super regional.
David Murray, Gene Space 24/7. With the added responsibilities now off field of being a head coach, will you continue to oversee the offense and the recruiting, or will some of the roles kind of disperse a little more under your staff?
I'm definitely going to continue with the hitting. That's my strength. That's what I love. Had a lot of help with that as well. I know I trust Coach Bratton a lot to assist me with our offense as well as the recruiting. So him and I will work together, especially in the recruiting area. That's why I left him out in California, to make sure that we stayed present, and that's really where he's very strong. A lot of great recruiting ties, knows everybody. And then the offensive side, it helps to keep some former players around too. We'll have 2 that'll be student assistants that know my philosophies, they know what works, and they kind of can be extensions of myself when we're working with the hitters. So I want to continue in that role too.
2-part question on analytics.
Okay.
How much of it did you use in your time as an assistant here, and how much of it do you want to expand on that, and what areas, pitching, hitting, et cetera? What can you gain from new age analytics and all that?
Yeah. We used it quite a bit in our offense, I think more and more each year. We brought in sensors this past year that we used every day in the fall. There's also a couple different systems that'll measure things such as exit velocity, attack angle, all of that. And I think we can use those more. I always think we can do more with it. And also with the pitching side, I think we can use it a lot more. And just so that the girls understand spin rate, trajectory, what the break points are on their pitches, and they have actual measurable goals for what they want to do and what they might want to see their curveball do, something like that. So I think we can always do more. It's something I used a lot of this past year with the hitters. And now I'd like to bring it, into our overhand throwing and the weight room and stuff like that. Those are my goals with the technology and data piece.
pretty early that you and Bratton both tweeted out that he was going to be a part of this staff, and you officially confirmed that. Being with him for the past few years, how important has he been to this program, and why was it important to get him on board so early?
Yeah, Coach Bratton's been a huge piece of this program. He's been here, I think, longer than most of us on staff, and he's a graduate of Mississippi State. He loves Mississippi State. He's worked for the baseball and the softball programs, and I think his love and his passion for not only this university but our game has played a huge part of it. The girls love him. They respect him, and he brings a lot of passion and energy to practice and to the games. And him and I have always had a very good working relationship, and I know where he stands, and if there's something that we need to address or tackle or we want to improve on, that we can have those honest conversations. So he's been part of my plan the whole time going forward.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.